Everyone, welcome back to another Shed Chat Live, and well, what a week it has been. The long-awaited GMRC Series 2. Will you stop it? Like, God, you can't get the staff, can you? Go off and get me nice things.
Okay.
Anywho, yes, meanwhile, back at the ranch, oh, my top's all squiffy, skew with. Basically, it is after the first episode has gone out, so I thought we'd talk about that. I know we've been banging on about GMRC 2 an awful lot, but we've been keeping it secret for so long. So, as you can see on the screen there, this is a screen grab from the programme. So, there's a lot of people in. Let's have a look. The Ballast Man, evening to you. The Growler Blackwood Engage Layout, good evening to you. Charles Curtis, a hello to you. Basing TMD, hi to you. Aha, Canadian Rail Fan, hello to you. I remember you from last week. So are you still harbouring visions of, are you going to be in Series 3 then? Have you put a team together yet? Gout. Oh, I want to say gout, but gout just sounds like, oh yes, I've been drinking port and smoking cigars all my life, and I've got gout. But Goot Valley, hi to you. Tony Britton, hi to you. Reese 50035, hi to you. And we've got Gamehammer Classic Gaming in, aka that's Zoe. The Reservoir Dogs photo, if ever I saw one. Actually, funnily enough, when we filmed that is precisely what the director said to us. The director, channel your inner Reservoir Dogs. That's exactly what we did. Berry 120, hello to you. Canadian Rail Fan, your layout for GMRC is based on War Worlds by Agatha. Not entirely true. I think you're mixing up the themes for a multiple of different layouts there. Maybe we all blended into one another. But I've sought clarification actually from Pat and Daniela and been told that until the episode is broadcast, I can't even tell you the theme. Now, I did wonder whether the theme was out there, but I've been told until it's broadcast, don't give anything away, including the theme and that. But I don't know what's in the TV times or the radio times. So if anybody can enlighten me and tell me whether anything's gone to print, if it's gone to print, I can talk about it. But certainly, I've also I've bought the tie-in magazine as well for the Great Model Railway Challenge, because we did all right. We made it to the back cover. We didn't get the front cover. We actually made the back cover. So I'm actually using Les's website here. So I'm going to the pictures there. But if you look on that picture there, that's why you're seeing this stuff down the side for Not Lobia. If you're not a fan of Not Lobia, then do go and find it. When I say not a fan, as in if you didn't know about it, Not Lobia is the page that Les has for his modelling, and Les is a genius. Let's have a look. What have we got? Eugene Baird, hello Jay, what's new this week? Well, the first episode of GMRC has gone out, so just really kind of testing the water to see what people actually thought about it. So I'm really interested to hear from you all. The Ballast Man, good to see you there. When we were told to film the walking shot for our episode, I had to hide my face as I was laughing a little. Yeah, sometimes it's you can end up corpsing. Oh God, listen to me like I know the lingo. But yeah, I actually did a few. I was a bit naughty because having worked in film and television before, you start to do silly things like stand behind the camera looking at the presenter and pulling silly faces and miming various things, trying to get them to crack up. I don't know whether certain shots will make the cut, but there's also when the camera's going round our layout, I did pull a funny face at it. Canadian Railfan, theme is best-selling books. Is that what it says in the Radio Times? Brian Moss, Aaron Webber's GMRC Series 2 Episode 2 Classic Books. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so that is out there. That's good. I didn't know whether it's out there because I haven't seen any TV listings. But yes, classic books. Right, that makes things a lot easier. Yes, that indeed was the theme that we had to work to. And actually, having seen episode 1, I think we got a better theme. The theme can be make or break for the layout builds, in my opinion. Let's have a look. Brian Mossler, the resin this week looked good. Actually, that is an interesting point. Let me just check my cheat sheet, because you have to remember I haven't actually met in person a number of these teams. But where are they? The train set. I must admit, actually, the builders of the train set I found very, very good. If it is indeed true that they're not really railway modelers, and it says here, team leader Chris Williams is the only person with any previous experience of railway modelling, but he's still a relative newcomer. I thought that they made a cracking effort, and there was quite a few areas of that model which did impress me, and the resin water was one of those areas. I think they did exceptionally well. I know that a few other teams did try resin water, and it can be quite tricky, especially when you're against the clock. So it may or may not work out for other people, but certainly they did a wonderful job of that. And I was quite pleased as well with seeing their coastline. That was pretty good. And the other area that really did impress me, and I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't talked about on the actual programme, was the bridge, the blue girder bridge at the back of the layout. They didn't actually say what their their pre-builds actually were, but I suspect that bridge may have been one of their pre-builds, and actually I really liked it. That was probably for me the biggest thing that drew my eye. So I was very impressed with the train set, especially knowing that they weren't natural railway modelers. Not to detract from the other teams that were on there, we had Corby Steelman, and when you were looking at their layout build, it was very clear that they had a lot more experience of layout building, but the theme, I thought, was a little bit restrictive to some extent. It did tend to railroad you in towards volcanoes, earthquakes, that kind of thing. And yeah, I think the teams got a bit restricted there with that. With classic books, you were very much able to have really think outside the box. And in our particular case, and I can't tell you what we built, but on let me just see if I can scroll through. This has been shown on TV, so there is our model, and that was part of the trailer. So I don't have to hide that fact that is part of our layout. I do feel that they maybe sort of showed a little bit too much of some of the models, and the tie-in magazine as well has pictures of the complete layout for Fancop Miniature Marvels. It shows their complete layout even before that episode was broadcast. And there was another one as well, the train set as well. It showed their complete layout. And also Team Phoenix. Sorry, somebody's dinging me. Oh, that's all right, something else there. Team Phoenix, actually, if you do have the tie-in magazine and look closely in the background, you can actually see our completed layout just out of focus in the background. But it was very tough competition. All the teams in our heat were exceptionally good, and I wouldn't have liked to have been the one to kind of decide between them. But see what else. Oh, actually, this as well. This picture that you're now seeing on your screen is again another still from the actual trailer, and that, I can tell you, was filmed on our layout. And it just shows, actually, I know from speaking to Daniela before Series 1, one of the YouTube channels that they did look at was mine, and one of the things that is fairly unique, or it certainly was very unique about mine, is the camera train that we use and still use from time to time, and we get these kind of low-level shots, and I like to think that they were inspired by my YouTube videos. I don't know whether they were or not, but certainly I do know that they did take a look at them. Oh, there's the logo. There's that one. Oh, I'm going off Les's pictures because it's just the easiest way of showing you these. That's the magazine that I've been talking about. If you haven't seen this, it's available in all magazine retailers. I saw it in WH Smith's. I got my copy in WH Smith's. But you can see there, that's what you're looking for. And this is a close-up of the back cover, and that's me, Simon and Les there, and that's actually quite a good picture of me, I must admit. So, you know, you're not seeing anything there that hasn't already been revealed. Again, that is our layout under construction, and that is a lovely shot. Steve Flint was actually taking a lot of photographs whilst all the filming was going on, and he's obviously used a lot of these as the basis for this tie-in magazine, and no doubt there will be magazine articles to come as well. Let's have a look. Canadian Railfan as well got team together for GMRC. All really good team together. Me tracking electrics and my rest scenery and effects. Well, nobody's asked me back for Series 3. I am wheeling and a dealing on some other project, but certainly, you know, other members of my team have been asked onto other teams. I don't know why I've been left out. I feel like a Billy No Mates. Berry 120, the train set I was very impressed by. Yeah, I think they should have had it personally. They were really harsh on that one early unintentional derailment. What got me was that all three of those layouts suffered with unintentional track issues. So it's probably unfair to single them out. But let's have a look. Mark Rice, great show to start GMRC. Thank Jen. Loved the newbies, the ones that got thrown. I thought they were up on their the newbies. So it seems to have lost in the spell checker, I think, there. Basing TMD, I thought it was really good with the train set, as we have all been wanting newcomers to come to the hobby. Amen to that. So ticked all boxes all round. Yeah, and I think there's more teams to come as well who are newcomers to the hobby, but that doesn't necessarily mean newcomers to modelling. And one of the teams in particular stood out for me. If you got the tie-in magazine, these Loco ladies, and they do a lot of things like cake decorating, and there's a lot of transferable skills there, I have to say. So I'm really looking forward for their episode as well, just to see how they got on. James Hardy, the train set should have won just on their model making. Yeah, it's interesting. Canadian Railfan as well, the train set should have won, just the train went off the tracks. Yeah, but both of the other layouts did suffer on reliability issues and derailments, stalling. Mark Rice, the water beach was great. It is interesting. These are my thoughts exactly. I would personally, had I been hired as a judge, I did audition but didn't make it through. I think I would have scored that a lot more generously. We'll come back to talking about the judges, it has to be said. Anyway, let's just give me 1 moment. Let's put me back on screen. But yeah, I'll come back to talking about the judges, but I really want to talk about those three teams on there. Let's have a look. Mark Rice, the water beach was great, certainly was. The growler, booze is around. I think somebody did ask me what the booze was. So we're going for, apparently, we're taking a trip to sunny California for a bottle of Malbec on the Barefoot label. A double gold, everybody, double gold. So we're talking about the winners and losers of GMRC. Well, this is the winner of the wine world. Andrew Johnson, what time do you normally start? 7 o'clock UK time, which at the moment I think we're still on British Summer Time, or BST, which is GMT plus 1. So at the moment it's GMT plus 1, 7 o'clock, which is 6 o'clock GMT. So you can work out your time zone from that. But then over the winter we go back to just plain old GMT. I've been really fancying a red wine for ages. I don't know, I oscillate between a wanting for red wine and white wine. So, the red nectar. Cheers to you all. Oh, that is nice. The Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout. Like the slight change in the format in giving a score for each day. The train set team would have won if their track had been better laid. It's interesting, actually. I think the Ballast Man as well, you'll agree with me on that, that the scoring makes me think of QI. Nobody quite understood it. And they wouldn't tell us the scores. We just got a relative score, as in, you know, such and such a team beat another team by a point, sort of a thing. We just didn't get the scores, and it did feel like they were going to put the scores together later. Viaduct Central Model Railway, hi to you. James Hardy, shame the Scratch Builds Challenge, I'm still there. The Scratch Build Challenge, actually, it wasn't as bad as I was thinking it would be. A lot of people did dread it. Some people struggled, but actually, by and large, people came through with stuff that really did add to their layout. And I think that's the key with the Scratch Build Challenge. It's about building something that is a part of your model, not something that just looks like an add-on because you had to. The trick with the Scratch Build Challenge is you've got to use at least a little bit of each of the 3 items, and the finished item will be more likely to get you to win if it's something which looks like you were going to build it anyway. Let's have a look. Basing TMD. I did think also the Scratch Build could be better rather than Art Attack style. Now, it has to be remembered that the teams had about a day. So it was certainly a lot longer than it appeared on the programme. And it's a shame. I think a lot of stuff got lost to the edit. And even though the programmes are a little bit longer this year, I think that it's probably been a real struggle to be able to fit into that time slot what they want to. You could probably make an interesting and engaging programme of that length just about one of those teams builds, but they've got to shoehorn 3 of those teams builds in, plus, you know, all the usual chit chat and stuff like that. And I was surprised, actually, because I thought they were going to try and do a lot more show, not tell, but that doesn't seem to have come through in that episode, so I'm interested to see how it comes through in subsequent episodes. Derek Grant, hi Jenny, back in a mode, dogs want to walk. No problem, see you in a bit. Don't worry as well, you can catch it later on when this video goes up in full on YouTube. Right, Flying Scott, only 12 minutes in, good, thought I might have missed something. What are you saying, I just talked rubbish for 12 minutes? Ham Shackleton, okay, I'm here now so you can start. Oh my god, get me the president! Ham Shackleton's here, the problem is over, the crisis is over. Graph B, hi to you. James Hardy, train sets should have won. My initial thoughts were certainly it should have been closer between them and Corby Steelman. I really liked the train set build, and I would have probably given them more credit for being newcomers to the hobby. But the Corby Steelman, that was a good build, and I got to see that in the racking when we were racking and stacking various things at the end of our heat. So I did get to have a proper close-up look at that layout, and it was actually quite a nice layout. Ron Stanbridge, hi Jenny, the Brit came off the first day. Ron Fancott, hi Jenny, the Brit came off on the first day. Ron Fancott, Miniature Marvel. Right, I'm with you. Yeah, it's nice to see you as well. So the Brit came off the first day. Ron, yeah. Yeah, all 3 teams, judging by the what was shown on TV, had track-related issues, or certainly reliability issues, and they weren't alone. From what I saw as well during filming, it's a big problem when you're really against the clock. So I've got every sympathy for all the builders, and I really liked Fancott Miniature Marvels as well. Some of their animations I thought were inspired, particularly the sinkhole opening up. That was great, but how do you reset that? That looked to be quite a long-winded thing to reset. And that was very daring, using real water. My thoughts on that is that, generally speaking, real water is a big no-no in model railway worlds because it just soaks into everything. It's very difficult to keep it where it should be. So that's quite daring to do that. But, I understand why you probably did that. because, you know, go big or go home. Let's have a look. Patrick Furlong, hello to you. Can I help you? You kept peering in.
I was making sure you're okay.
Yeah, I'm still good.
Everything good? Everything all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Oh, Ron Stanbridge and the Class 37 stop as the DCC shorted out. Yeah, see you later. That can be an issue on Insel Frog points, it has to be said. I've had that up in the loft. Not as much on the new points, but on the older designed ones. See, DC is much less picky about momentary shorts, but the DCC can be very finicky. So, yeah, one of those things, I actually put a dab of paint over the frogs on Insel Frogs if needs be. Excuse me, for a competition like that, and use long wheelbase locomotives. Top tip. Berry 120, I don't think I could have managed a fraction what any of them did in that timescale. It has to be said, it very much focuses the mind. I wouldn't have said that. I thought, there's a big risk we'll end up half finished here, and actually, I don't know any teams that had that problem. Oh, hi there to you, Les. Just seeing you in the room. Evening to you, especially to rail riders. Do we have any other rail riders in the chat room? It's always good to re-meet the team, as it were. So I'm using your pictures, Les. So as you can see on the screen there, it's just a handy source for the pictures. But don't I look good? I photograph well when I don't know I'm being photographed. That is a really good picture of me, Simon and Les looking resplendent in our matching tops. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to try and catch up with the comments. But yeah, it does focus the mind. And one thing that I think everybody took away from that is you became a lot better modeler. And there's nothing beats doing this against the clock to actually focus the mind, to get through problems and actually win through in the end. And every single team that I witnessed actually found the same thing by and large. So I'm curious if you guys in episode 1 found the same thing. But I came out of it a lot better modeler in my opinion because of this kind of baptism of fire. Andy 1962, I think the train set team were unlucky in my opinion, especially as newbies. They deserved to win the heat. I wouldn't like to have called it, but certainly I thought that they did a lot better than they were given credit for. James Hardy, are all the judges into model railways? Well, yes, Steve Flint, he's the editor of Railway Modeller. He's like, sort of a god amongst railway modelling. He is a big name modeller actually as well. I was trying to rack my brains thinking, I'm sure I've seen Steve Flint's modelling before. And actually I have. He's won awards for his modelling in the past. But he's now most well known as the editor of Railway Modeller. Kathy Millett, a lot of people didn't really know much about her, but she was quite big on the American scene over in the US. Although she is British based. She has a YouTube channel. But actually, I think a lot of people didn't really know about her until this. I did. I've followed her on YouTube on and off for about 6 years now. But yeah, she's also is a very keen modeller. Tony Britton, the scratch build section spoilt it for me. I think they could have made more of that, like as actually filming the processes that went into it. What I saw of the scratch build challenge in episode 1, I didn't feel that we saw enough of it for it to be viable as a piece of television. It just felt like, here's some stuff, and then people just came back and da-da, there's my finished thing. There wasn't a lot of the build process, and I felt that probably spoilt it more than anything else. Patrick Furlong, how am I? I'm pretty good, thanks. And yourself? Mark Rice, the sinkhole was great. I wish the train crashed down the hole. Well, the van did, actually. That was pretty good. Viaduct Central Model Railway. If anyone has heard of the Hornby Family Fun project, I am going to be doing some videos on my channel of me building one of my own with a twist. Oh, interesting. Yeah, how's the subscriber count going? Because I know we wanged you past 50 at one point. Ron Stanbridge, half-hour reset, Jenny. I nearly swore there. My word, we really are nearly at half an hour. 57305 Northern Princess. Hey Jenny, I have acquired a layout based on Bewdley to Wolverton for free, including all the trains and the DCC equipment. Whoa, score! My word, 57,305 Northern Princess. I think that is the score of the evening. Patrick Furlong and Lescliffe, hi to Zoe. So if Zoe's still watching, I've not actually got up to date on the comments, so I don't know whether you've commented or not. Berry120, track issues are unsurprising really. The norm is to lay track and run trains for weeks to iron out any issues, and that's without the special effects and complexities of the layouts featured there. Yeah, you really are up against it. There is no time to actually dwell on things, to even stand back and admire your handiwork. And I know that I planned the track laying on our layout meticulously, and I took great care over it. I'm very proud of my ability to lay track reasonably well. I understand the basics, and ballasting, I quite enjoy doing that, but also DC electrics, things like points and stuff, and making sure I can visualize in my head where all the droppers need to go to make sure all the track's live, and just visualizing where I need insulating fish plates, that kind of thing. So we did all right in that effect, but certainly against the clock there is so much opportunity for problems to creep in. Is that Canadian rail fan? Sorry, Jenny. 2 idiots looking around my garage. I have a 4 in there. They gone away now after using my air raid siren. Well, I hope that you deafened them. I do hate people like that who are clearly scoping out to nick stuff. Cranky Chris. Hi, Jenny, and evening all. Hi to you. Mark Rice. Hi, Jen. Did Les do the scratch build challenge? I'm afraid I can't tell you any of those details. You will have to watch from 8 p.m. British time, which is GMT +1 at the moment, on Friday on Channel 5. Or you can watch it on the My5 catch-up service after it's been broadcast. It does appear on there. That's how I managed to watch it. But it's awkward as anything. Come on, Channel 5. Get yourself a decent, functional catch-up service. They've kind of got two. One's an old one and one's a new one. But for some reason, a lot of devices go, no, you must have the old one, and then won't show you anything other than Series 1. It's really, really annoying, but I did eventually find it. But I had to watch it on a phone. Come on, I'm old school. I've got a 42-inch TV downstairs, so why do I want to watch television on a phone? I've got a TV, I'll watch it on that with a big stereo hooked up to it. We're on a Stanbridge, no sinkhole, half an hour reset. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that's the only thing. Certainly, I saw a few, throughout the filming, I saw a few effects that took a lot of resetting. And that struck me as being something that is like, there's a lot of room for things to go wrong. But it worked in the day. It was all right on the night. Mark Rice, Les is great at making stuff from rubbish. He certainly is, actually. And if you go on the Model Rail group for novices on Facebook and subscribe to that, big up to that channel. Les does post an awful lot of stuff on that. Also on the Not Lubia channel as well. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Viaduct Central Model Railway. I've got 77 subscribers now, Jen. Woohoo! Maybe we can wang you up to 100. Come on, everybody. Subscribe to Viaduct Central Model Railway. Mark Wilson. All right, my ducks. Will the cupboard monkey be passing you mead and nourishment this week? The cupboard. Zoe, you're a cupboard monkey. That isn't a cupboard, That's actually the doorway out to the rest of the house. There is no cupboard. There's a window over there, and there's a wall behind me. We're in the box room. That's what this is. Yeah, Zoe says, I am not a cupboard monkey. I like that. I'm going to call you Cupboard Monkey from now on. James Hardy, are you on this week, Jenny? Yes, this Friday is Heat 2, and that is the episode that Team Rail Riders features in. So let me just try and find a lovely picture of the group all together. Let me just bish bash bosh boosh. Let's see, we got where? There we are. There we are. That's us walking in at the beginning of our episode. Team Rail Riders looking resplendent in our outfits. Actually, they look a bit faded there. But certainly, actually, Interesting. Yeah, that's. Did we do that twice? We must have done a second run on that. But obviously things get chopped and changed a lot on the actual editing. But what else have we got? Stuart Muir. Hiya Jenny. What's that? Les Cliff not on the novices page now. Why not, Les? What's gone wrong? I know that there's a problem with the armchair rivet counters, but I'll be honest with you. I just, don't feed the trolls. But sorry to lose you, Les, because you were a great asset to that page. It has to be said. Viaduct Central Model Railway, you're welcome. Stuart Muir, hi Jenny. I had a good weekend. Went to the International N-Gauge show on Saturday, and fantastic show. Well worth a visit, even if you don't model N-Gauge. Yeah, actually, I went to the Garden Railway show at Peterborough a couple of years ago as part of the promotion for Biggest Little Railway. And actually, even though I'm not into like G-Scale and SM32, that kind of stuff, I found it really, really good show. It's a good show to actually to go and see. Mark Wilson, hi, fantastic Zoe. We know it's you, but Cupboard Monkey is a bit funny. It is actually. Brockwell Lane, agreed. I like your video on tops numbering. Oh, well, you're welcome. I've missed some comments. Let me just go up. Mark Wilson, by the way, absolutely love the tops numbering system on your channel. What does tops stand for? It's something like Total Operating Protocol Standard or something like that. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Somebody will probably post it, but yeah, you're welcome. It was something that a few people asked about, and it's actually gone down really well. If you've not seen that video, go and check it out on the channel. And it is a handy little guide. It's something that I picked up over time, and there is a website. ISTR is a name rings a bell. I think somebody mentions in a comment on there the actual page, which is a great resource. But I thought it was much more easily accessible way of doing it in a video. So hopefully it just makes it a little bit more sense. Now, Patrick Furlong, it's weird to see you sitting in that chair, Jenny. Oh, well, interesting. Yeah, I know. It's for those of you who are wondering about that, this chair and this equipment is also used on Zoe's Sunday live stream on the Game Hammer Classic Gaming channel. So she does live coding of games. So she actually codes them from scratch. It's really good. So if you're a retro computer fan, then do head on over and check out the Game Hammer Classic Gaming channel. So Zoe, if you're here, just say hello again so everybody can see who we mean, and check her out. But Patrick Furlong is one of the people who's crossed over from that channel. Actually, there's a few people gone the other way, so I think there's a few people here who may follow Zoe as well. There you are. Hello from Game Hammer Classic Gaming. J94, hi to you. Mr. AJH 1969, not been able to watch episode 1 yet. Missed it when it went out and can only see series 1. You answered that, I think, as I was typing this comment. My 5 or Demand 5? Right, it's on My 5, but Demand 5 it isn't. But a lot of devices, like Xboxes, they're supposed to connect to it, but they, for whatever reason, insist they can only connect to Demand 5. And really, I think Channel 5's made a complete hash of that. Patrick Furlong, Jen, was this the top secret project Zoe mentioned a few months ago? Yes, this is the top secret project, which we've been studiously keeping secret as we could. Les Cliff, left all but a few. Sorry to hear that. Mark Wilson, I heard the Rail Riders Club is coming back, courtesy of Bufferbeam. Interesting. Canadian Rail fan, well, Jenny, did all the electrics and track work for you on the GMRC layout? I'm not allowed to talk about it. Let's just say that I think every team had their little gremlins, and you're going to have to watch the episode to find out what gremlins and problems we had. Les Cliff, concentrating on my own. Yes, the People's Republic of Notlobia. Les has declared a micronation, as have I, it has to be said. I think I gave Les the idea. But I'm sitting in the micronation of Calandia, but upstairs is the micronation of Genitopia. You may have heard of Sealand, it's that kind of thing. James Hardy, teams always seem to use double O on the Greatest Model Railway Challenge. Yeah, to be honest, we were told to. You weren't allowed to build it in N gauge or O gauge. It had to be 4mm to the foot double O gauge. You could use 009, not a problem. You could use N gauge to give an illusion of distance, but it had to be double O. It's just the way it was. It was in the rules, I believe. Les Cliff, my feeds were swamped with model railway feeds, and recently algorithms have and still prevent me comment. Oh, yeah, Les had a few problems. Yes, I have freedom now. Game Hammer Classic Game. Yes, Patrick, this was the secret project, yeah. J94, I watched the Great Model Railway Challenge. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Well, then you'll see me, yours truly, and look out for these great bunch of people in these great matching outfits. This is Team Rail Riders, which I was part of. You'll see me there with my trademark green handbag, which if you ever bump into me at model railway exhibitions or at preserved lines, or indeed in model shops quite often, that's just my handbag. So yeah, and Simon there at the front, he always looks Mr. Super Cool. He is Mr. Sub-Zero, is he not? But we've also got Brian there just behind him. Les there, second from the left. Extreme left is Melanie. And behind Les's head, that's Stefan Nielsen, who's actually the editor of Model Janusfag's Magazinette, which you may have heard me talk about from time to time. But he's the actual editor, flown in specially from Sweden. Cranky Chris, tops, equals total operations processing system. Well, I was close. Mark Rice, Jen, where the hell is the dark fruits? I thought I'd have a change. I've gone for the extreme hit of red wine today. Brockwell Lane, does your layout have a volcano? No, different theme. Our theme is classic novels. Restless Earth was the theme for episode 1. Each episode, so there's 8 episodes. Every single episode, the layouts built have a different theme. And I think that's good. It's a really good concept, because what it does is it kind of makes sure that you don't end up with the same old with each of the builds. Ron Stanbridge, just look for me with the drill on my 5. Oh, I've got actually a magazine here. I can find a picture of you, then I know what I'm looking for. I've gone too far. You can hear me flicking through the magazine, which let's have a look. From left, 1, 2, 3. Aha! I've now put a name to a face. I don't think were you at the final? Because they obviously invited back. All of the teams got an invite, but only some of the teams turned up for the final. I know I met the Loco ladies at the final that way. There's also a few people from the past series as well. I met the guy from Missenden Modelers too. But I don't know, did we meet at the final in the audience? Flying Scott, Simon looks like he's on the way to steal my woman. Yeah, Simon is a bit of an enigma, really. He's like Mr. Sub-Zero, but he always complains that he has no luck in love. And I really don't know why, because Simon, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, you are a really good-looking guy. And, you know, I'm not coming on to you there. I'm not flirting. I'm just saying that I've always thought, you really know how to keep yourself in shape. And you're just Mr. Sub-Zero, Mr. Ice Cool. NESR, hi. Oh, we got Sparky 107. Hi to you. Wish we could watch that over in here in Canada. Well, you didn't hear it from me, but apparently there's a way of logging into my 5 from overseas and watching it on catch up. So you got to spoof. What is it you do? Spoofing your IP, but it's got a fancy name. But yeah, how are you doing? Did you enjoy your trip to the UK? I've seen you've put a few recent videos up as well. I've been so busy. I've seen you put the videos up. I just haven't got around to watching anything just as yet. Canadian Rail Fan, I see in the trailer Simon going to Meltdown doing something. We've actually been racking our brains. We're not quite sure what that moment's to do with. It's probably because he's like, oh no, I left my screwdriver in the back of the car. I'll have to walk up to the car park for it. He does not have that accent. He's from Sidcup in London, so he's kind of a really cool, suave South Londoner. Not Cockney, just South London. Like a little bit posh, a little bit. Well, to my ears, he's a little bit London, bit of a geezer. Let's have a look. NESR. I wonder how my club will get on this year. Aberdeen. I don't know. Were they one of the teams? I don't think they were in it. James Hardy. Nice to see some young people in it. Yeah, there was some young people as well in our heat, and it was great to see them. The enthusiasm for the hobby in a young generation, and that really is what it's all about. And hopefully this series will inspire people a great deal into either coming back into the hobby or taking it up. And I think that's one of the things that all of us in the teams were really, really keen on, was the fact that we felt that we were showing the hobby that anybody could do this. And I think we came through and did that. Mark Rice, I hope someone done Downton Abbey. Again, I'm not allowed to comment, but actually I'll put you out of your misery. I'm not aware of anybody having done that. Canadian Rail fan, Jenny, I know who won your heat, but keeping tight-lipped. Yeah, we all have to. We signed NDAs, and we're not allowed to say, we're not allowed to give hints or anything. You just have to watch that episode. And all I will say is that all 3 layouts in that heat were of exceptional build quality and imagination. And I just remember all through that heat thinking, any one of these 3 layouts could win, and I would not be surprised. I wouldn't like to have separated the layouts. They were all really, really good. Let's have a look. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. Jenny fancies Simon. Oh, get lost, Zoe. You cupboard monkey, you. No, I'm married to you, Zoe. Mark Wilson. I heard Pico Railway Modeler are doing special on GMRC. Yes, they are, and that's what it's actually out in the shops. So I'm holding a copy here. Just bought this from WH Smith's, and you can see there on the back. There I am, resplendent in my wonderful Team Rail Riders top. We all did, actually. There's Simon. And there is... Oh, it's very difficult to... I've got to kind of do it backwards. There you are, Les.
Oh, hello. Hello. My name is Les. Oh, where have I gone? Oh, hello. I'm Les.
If Les is still there, he's probably going, bloody hell, what are you doing? But as you can probably tell, the wine is soaking in quick. Ron Stanbridge, how long did it take you to recover, Jenny? It was a week for me. We never got an invite to the final. I saw the email that went out. There was an email that kind of went out to all the teams. I don't know whether it sort of got lost in the system somewhere, but there was an email that went out about that. I think it was actually... it went out before filming had even started, so it's obviously something that's quite easy to miss. How long did it take us to recover? Months. Months and months. It's just so intense. And afterwards, did you feel like it was weird because you kind of had this come down where it's like, we don't have to plan anything. We don't have to do anything. Mark Wilson, ask the cupboard monkey for ham and pineapple pizza. We've actually just had a curry. Sparky 107, love my trip over there. Crew, Worley Club, Wales, just a perfect time over there. Well, I'm really glad, actually. There's a lot to see and do in the UK, and I think a lot of us who live here do take the country for granted. But it is a wonderful country, and there is a lot to see. Brockwell Lane. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Is it the East Lancs Railway meetup this Sunday? Yes, it is. So... Sunday from 12 o'clock at Bury Bolton Street Station, we'll be, meeting on the platform that's got the pub, and I will definitely be there. And this is pretty cool actually, because it'll be 2 days after the GMRC episode, so might as well strike whilst the iron's hot and get all of the fame and fortune together. But yes, this Sunday is the Jenny Monday Club Big Sunday meetup at the East Lancs Railway. You get the Metrolink out of Manchester, trains or whatever into Manchester, but there's also ample parking knocking around Bury. It's not a difficult place to find parking at. And who knows, maybe we'll even take a trip on the train. But certainly it'd be great to put some faces to names and meet all of you there. Because I know there's a big following to the channel. And it'd be great to see how many people turn up. I mean, it might get a bit packed. Or it might just be me sat there and Zoe filming going, ha ha, you Billy, no mates. Mark Wilson, do you think in time they will have a champion of champion show just before Christmas would be good for the hobby? I don't know whether they're planning some kind of a Christmas special at some point, maybe, but I don't know. I really don't know, and it's not me covering for things I'm supposed to be not letting on about. It just seriously, I really don't know. Mark Croucher, a Shipley model exhibition at the weekend with my layout. Exhibition manager said numbers were up and would like to think there's a positive outcome from the show. Yeah, definitely. I know a few exhibition managers that I do know last year said that there was a noticeable upturn in figures of people going through the doors at shows. And there's a lot more families as well and younger people. And I think that is a great development for the hobby. Canadian Rail fan, it was nice to see the young teams. My team got my 15-year-old son and daughter who were into model railways. That is brilliant. Sparky 107, did you get to keep the t-shirts? You do look good in red. Yeah, let's bring up that wonderful shot of us in our t-shirts there. Yeah, we had 3 t-shirts each so that we could appear to be wearing the same thing each day of filming. But even if you got hot and sweaty or covered in muck, we still had a clean t-shirt. Although, as Les will attest to, he got covered in plaster and glue. Actually, I think most of us did. But yeah, they were t-shirts. We supplied 3 each of those. Right. Let's bring me back up. The wine is going down well, Andy 1962. Oh yes, are you trying to get me drunk? Because it is successful. I think the cupboard monkey will have to bring me some crisps or something. I do hope she had foresight when she went to get the wine to get some nibbles. Mark Wilson, I will get a copy and see if you will autograph it at the Wally show. Yeah, I will always autograph my own books. And also, I'll autograph magazine articles that I've written, all that kind of stuff. If people want me to, I'm quite happy to do that. I spent a good number of years doing the book signing tours as an author. Buy my books, they're really good. And so I'm quite used to signing things. So yeah, absolutely fine. Warrington Train Spotter 2778. Did you get to meet any of the other team members from the other episodes? As I said, yes, we were all invited back for the final to be in the audience. And basically, quite a few of the teams turned up. Not all. Fancop Miniature Marvels, Ron Stanbridge there has already said, yeah, he didn't get the invite, but certainly Loco Ladies I met, Corby Steelman were there. Which one are you having? Which one do you want?
Whichever one you don't want.
Oh my word. I can feel my left ventricle slamming shut in anticipation.
I am not a cupboard monkey.
It wasn't me that suggested that. That's cold. Right, where's your bin?
Downstairs, come here.
Yeah, just take my rubbish away, cupboard monkey. Go. Oh. Right. All right. Weird. Gout Valley, have to go. Crib season starts tonight. Okay, well, you have fun. And don't worry, you can catch up with all of the stuff later. Ben Davis, hi Jennifer, thanks for the live stream. You are absolutely welcome. Let's have a look. I need to scroll back up here. Les Cliff, I'll sign some copies. Yeah, actually, Les, are you coming on Sunday to the Jenny Monday Club Big Sunday meetup at the East Lancs Railway? It'd be great to have you there. Might even try and drag Melanie along. And yeah, it'll be grand. Actually, yeah, I think Melanie's coming for the live stream next week. So if she comes, no, she did say she's going to work on Monday. So she's coming here straight from work. So Melanie might not be there, but Les, yeah, come on down, Les. It'll be fun. This doesn't make good for a good live stream. Me scoffing ice cream. Canadian rail fan. I'm in the UK this weekend near East Lancs. I think I will come. It'd be great to see you again. If you want to come, that'd be great. We can have like a big meetup. I know that by then only 2 episodes will have been shown. But anybody who's in the later heats, come on down as well. Because your picture's already in that magazine, the tie-in magazine. So yeah, sign copies, it'll be great. Maybe we can get a fully signed issue. That'll be fun. Mark Wilson. Loved the cab ride you did. It looked idyllic. Yeah, if you haven't already seen that, go and take a look. I filmed all that footage whilst we were there. And we got a ride on the Class 3 shunter. But I also got a ride in the cab of one of the Planet diesels as well. And it was great. And we really got the weather. It was amazingly hot in the area, in the garage area where they film all that. Because it's got a tin roof that's black. And it was just poor ventilation. So it was astoundingly hot in there. But it made everything look very photogenic. Ron Stanbridge, yep, some of the team will be coming to Wally's show. I will be there probably on the Sunday, just as a tourist. Tried to get our heat layout in, but they were very, very picky and saying, oh, we book our layouts a year in advance. And it's like, yeah, but this layout didn't exist a year ago. A lot of creativity involved in building models, and actually, it doesn't matter what gender you are. Model making is fun for everybody. James Hardy, is Wally when Hornby announces next year's stuff? It might be, you know. Or is that Backman? I'm not sure, you know. It might be Ali Pally. I'm not entirely sure. Mark Wilson, I wonder if the USA or other countries will take up the programme format. It's interesting you should say that. I don't know anything, but I was thinking that actually as a format it would work quite well for the American and maybe even the Australian markets. James Hardy is what? Sorry, I already read that out. Canadian rail fan. Simon just looks like he is Mr. Cool. Yeah, he is Mr. Sub-Zero. I wonder how he does get the ladies. He's always complaining that he never has much luck in love, unfortunately. Poor Simon. And you know he does deserve a break because he is such a nice guy. He's a thoroughly nice guy. Patrick Furlong. Talking to Mark Wilson. Was the US into model railroads? Yeah, it's a big market. Richard Hall, Mark Wilson, Ken Patterson of Model Railroad Hobbyist and What's Neat This Week fame is very keen indeed on the concept. It may appear in due course. Actually, yeah. I really must get back to him. He invited me on the What's Neat This Week podcast, and we've never quite had our schedules collide, so I need to get back in touch. Remind me to do that. Ham Shackleton, freeze framing again. Yeah, are we getting a few problems here? Let me just move. Oh, why is that not doing its magic thing? I don't know. I can't seem to move things around to actually see the streaming speed. Yeah, it paused a bit for me. I don't know whether it's software my end or whether it's a connection issue. Vampira, the stream does not work for me. Is everybody still online and still okay? I'm not talking to myself, am I? James Hardy, the railway's Bill McAlpine, who owned Flying Scotsman, certainly was. Canadian rail fan, I've bought standard gauge loco from the UK, I think, called J94. Aha. Great model. A big sort of... Sorry?
You are still online.
Oh, wicked. Apparently we are still online. So I don't know what's going on, but we have had a few issues with YouTube before now. Oh, Mr. Muffin Trains. Hi, Jenny. I'm here early. Muffins! Good to see you. Haven't seen... Model Rail, you got chocolate or something around your mouth? I probably have, actually. I'm drunk and I'm eating ice cream. What could possibly go wrong? Warrington Train Spotter 2778. I like the the last episode, it was really good work from all the teams. It was actually. I was very impressed with the standard of workmanship, but everything I've seen all the way through, as far as I'm aware, none of the teams throughout the entire series failed to finish their model. Might have been down to the wires for a lot of them, but all of the model railways look like finished model railways. So the standard really, the bar has been raised. Rail Sheffield are making 6 more Terrier. If you go to their website, you can see them. I didn't think that their first model has come out yet, has it? I knew it was taking a bit of time. Let's just have a look. So, Ham Shackleton, buffering then froze yet again. Our end seems to be working okay. I can only assume that there's an issue with...
Slide across a moment. Let's see what we can do about this.
Hmm?
Right.
What's
Hi
wrong?
guys. Just jumping in. I'm going to grab this picture because that's the only one you keep showing, isn't it?
I don't know, there's others. Yeah, grab that.
Okay, what we're doing now is just grabbing a load of the photos that Jen likes to show you so I can put them somewhere else. Now we can close down Facebook because that is the only other thing that's running. And hopefully that will speed everything up.
And I think you probably ought to take this, put it in the freezer for now, because
Why?
it's very difficult to talk and shove ice cream in
You'll
my
be fine, don't worry.
Alright.
I'm not sure about showing all that stuff, you know.
It's straight out of the trailer.
Oh, alright, you can show that then. It's a very good shot from out of the trailer. Okay, right, I've got all those. So we're going to close down Facebook because I have a feeling that it's causing problems.
Oh, we're stealing the bandwidth.
Well, it's always on, but it's always updating. So there may be issues. So I'm going to just grab all of these, shove them in there.
Talk amongst yourselves. We've got some technical stuff going
Yes,
on.
very technical. We're doing it live, therefore everything has to mess up.
I'm taking this opportunity to shove as much ice cream in my face as I can.
Jen does love her ice cream.
This wine glass is defective. It's gone empty. I think there's a leak every time I tip. Oh, we've frozen again. There we are.
I see what the problem is. The computer has decided that it's a really good idea to cause problems.
Well, what's it doing? Is it trying to update itself?
I don't know what it's doing in the background, but I think it might actually be the computer that was causing the problems.
Okay.
So, while I'm here, I'll finish your technical stuff off. It should all be working now. Sorry to jump in there, guys. How is that for technical support?
That's excellent. Could you take these away?
I could. Do you want me to throw it anywhere?
In the freezer.
In the freezer? My goodness.
Mm.
What madness is this? Bye-bye.
Right, anyway. I like transport. Enjoy your ice cream. I was. Oh, my mouth. My mouth is frozen. I shall warm it up with some wine. Warrington Trade Spotted 2778. Is that Ben & Jerry's ice cream you were tucking into, Jenny? No, it's Cadbury's double-decker ice cream. Mr. Muffin Trains just won a Lima J50 tank engine off of eBay. Should come soon. Excellent. Carol Taylor froze yet again. Hopefully, we may have solved some of those issues. We can only see what happens. Hi to you, I Like Transport. Hi to you, Derek Grant. Brian Moss are working okay here in Wales. So only some people are getting a few issues. So we'll just see if it works any better here. Mark Wilson, is there any other hobby that you need so many skills from work to electrics and many others in between? I doubt it. Yeah, I think you're right. Certainly hands-on, creative making models, not just railway modelling, but any kind of modelling. You need a lot of skills. I think the closest you could possibly come to other than this would be model engineering, perhaps. Vintage car restoration, perhaps, would be the closest. But yeah, certainly It basically,
No.
yeah. No. There we go. My lightsaber is done. My brain hurts. Right, stop it. God, you can't get the staff, can you? Brian Moss, not had any problems here. Yeah, good idea. Closing down Facebook. Gary Dykes. Hopefully that will have worked. Mark Wilson, I love the What's Neat on the USA channel. It's really good and some fantastic items. Yes, certainly. It is. I've watched that actually quite a few times, and it is certainly good. And I really must get back to him about the invite for me to appear on that. Carol Taylor, Crossrail is in trouble. Will not be ready until 2021. Oh, that money pit. Mr. Muffin's Trains, is the ice cream lagging everything? Possibly. Brian Moss, a pic's gone out of focus. That would suggest low bandwidth. That could be. I'm looking down here. We've still got a lot. The diagnostic LEDs on the router are showing that there's still a lot of data shoving about. Andy, 1962. Have another wine and all will be fine. I'll drink to that. That's actually quite a nice wine. Chris Lawson, evening. Wine does not remove ice cream from your lips. Oh. Apparently, sorry, I probably look disgusting. So, so what we should do is let's put up a nice picture. So this is a behind-the-scenes shot taken in the studio. Actually, I'm not even sure. Are we allowed to show this? Ooh. Let's move off that. This we can show. It was in the trailer, so that's a little teaser in the trailer of the layout that was from our heat. So that gives you an idea of what was going on there, and a few little hints, perhaps. There's our team again. Oh, have I got ice cream all around my mush?
No, but clean yourself up anyway.
All right, apparently, yeah. Oh, you won't see this because I've got that image full screen. Admire us in our funky matching outfits whilst I just use a wet wipe to de-ice cream my face. Mmm. Oh, there we go. Oh, squeaky clean. Mm. So, right. Oh, that is a very refreshing smell from those. Right. Ham Shackleton, I speak like that when I come back from the dentist. Yeah, it's like when they inject you with Novocaine or whatever the UK version is. Andrew Johnson, I want some tech support to sort out my computer IP address. I really can't help you with that. Unfortunately, this is a model railway channel. You're probably best having a quick search on YouTube for computer tech channels. Mr. Muffin Trains. Over in New Zealand, everything is going A-OK. No problems and is clear as a glass bottle. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Hunt's Heath Mulleroy, not gone out of focus. It's the wine. Yeah, the old wine goggles are in place. What else we got? Berry 120. Perhaps it's just me or the editing, but I found Kathy seemed a bit impersonal and came across harsh in that episode. Right, actually that's interesting. That is another area that I did want to talk on. And I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't want to be the one bringing it up. But when I went into this programme, I was probably... I thought Steve Flint was going to be the sort of like really, really icy personality. And, you know, there's a bit of a history going on here. Over the last 10 years, as everybody knows, I write articles for magazines. Not just railway modelling magazines, but I've written a lot for Model Rail, BRM, done a lot for MRE Mag, and also overseas publications. I've done Model Yarnischvags Magazinette. I've done one in America as well. I'm struggling to remember its name, and also an Australian publication too. So there's quite a few modelling magazines that I've very successfully written articles and also written follow-up articles because they've gone down very well. Every time I submitted an article to Railway Modeller. It got knocked back. It kind of poo-pooed. Oh, we're not interested in that kind of thing. And Steve Flint didn't come across necessarily all that well in the emails. Not rude or anything, but just very, he would say, oh, no, it's not good enough for us. Or, we might put something on our news page about that, but we'd want worldwide exclusivity and we wouldn't pay for it, sort of thing. And so I thought I'd go there and Steve Flint would be the one that I didn't get on with. But actually, it turns out Steve Flint lived 3 doors down from my father when he was growing up in Cottingham in Hull. So he knew socially a lot of the same people that my father knew socially. And there was this connection. And Steve and I actually got on really well. And I found him a very, very warm and engaging person in real life. You could really have a really interesting conversation with him. He's very knowledgeable, but he really was amiable. Kathy Millett, I've known her for about 6 years via YouTube, not in a personal sort of way, but in following her channel. And I found her, I didn't talk to her an awful lot. She seemed almost a little bit distant to me during filming. Now that may be, my personal experience, but not necessarily other people's personal experience. But I found her actually a lot like how the editing made her look was how she was in the filming for me. Now other people have said that they got on really well with her, and it wasn't that I got on badly with her. It's just that I didn't feel that she was interested in talking to me, is the best way I can describe it. That's all I can say. But Berry 120. Steve seemed to be engaging with the teams quite positively, but the standout part of Kathy's feedback I remember was her saying, "Get it, brackets ballasting fixed," sounded like a strict teacher. And that's interesting. I described her as a bit like a primary school teacher talking down to her kids. And Steve Flint seemed much more generous in the way he he was looking for the good points in people's stuff. He was talking up the good points. But I didn't hear so much of that from Kathy. Now, of course, you've got to remember that there's an awful lot of footage filmed and very little of that footage is getting used. So a bit like in Biggest Little Railway, Hadrian Spooner on Biggest Little Railway, and I've talked about this before, he came across in the Channel 4 programme on the screen as being this sort of really a bit of a hard ass, didn't have a nice thing to say about people, unreasonable, moody, and I didn't recognise that portrayal of him because that wasn't like what he was like at the filming, both on screen and off screen. I say on screen, when we were filming stuff with him, he wasn't like that. But they didn't use the stuff that we filmed with him. So the back of my mind is very much aware of the fact that Kathy Miller and Steve Flint are beholden to the way they're edited. And, there's only a small amount of the footage used. So I reserve a lot of judgment on that. But yes, she came across a lot like how I felt she was in real life at the filming. That may have been just my experience, but I don't think the editing has particularly made her look favourable. But I can't comment on what they've edited out to do that. Steve, on the other hand, I felt came across very well, very personable. And it was like he was looking for the good things to say about stuff. And, looking to find the good in stuff. Whereas I felt that the footage that they showed of Kathy judging, it was like she was looking for the faults. That might be unfair on them as individuals, how they were at the time. At the end of the day, you can be edited to look like a complete idiot, should the editor so decide it. So you are very much beholden to that. And I'm mindful. I haven't seen episode 2 yet. I could be edited up to look a right Wally, and I wouldn't. It'd be like, oh my word. I was very lucky. Biggest Little Railway, that never happened. But there were moments that they filmed that, looking back, if they'd have taken things out of context, if they'd have chosen to use certain footage and ignore others, I could have been made out to look a right Wally. So you never really know. I've yabbed away. Let's have a look. Very much, yeah. Perhaps I'm the editor. A bit impersonal. Came across harsh in that episode. Yeah, very much. Very 120. Hope that doesn't seem like I'm trolling on her. No, I think I probably answered that question. That's actually exactly how I found her. There's no disrespect to her. It may be that the editing has not done her any favours, but actually on location, I didn't interact with her an awful lot. She kind of kept out of our way. I just felt like she didn't want to talk to a lot of people. And I don't know, maybe she doesn't like crowds, I don't know. Ron Stanbridge, have you sorted out who I am in the GMRC book? Right, hold on. So I'm mindful. I've just left that. I'm so drunk. I've left the picture up there. Hold on. Right, who are you in the book? Ron Stanbridge. You are he. Where my finger is. Let me see if I can just. We're zooming in. Oops. Yeah. Is that you? That's really actually hard to line up with that camera, it must be said. But there you are, Ron Stanbridge. I believe that would be you. Carol Taylor, my other modelling is Japanese Padokos, as in dioramas. I've seen some wonderful dioramas, actually. It's a wonderful hobby. And actually, dioramas sometimes gives you a great opportunity to model something very specialist, very different, without the baggage of doing like a full model railway. So I can see that, just like a little tiny scene, like really tiny. Even like something like 6 inches by 6 inches or 4 inches by 4 inches. I've seen some wonderful military modelling dioramas in that respect. And yeah, it's really, really a good way of modelling something a bit different. Mark Wilson, here's IT support from the code. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Yes. Mark Wilson, this is YouTube Gold. It shows you're just the real deal. Love this channel. All right, that is great. Thank you very much. I can remember early on in my media career being told by a venerable old boy at the BBC. He said, "Oh, you have your public persona and your private persona, and what you project to your audience isn't necessarily who you really are. And what you have to do is make sure that you separate who you really are from who you want to be seen as in the public eye. And keep those separate and all will be well." And I'm not going to tell you who he was. He was quite famous, coming up to the end of his career. And I kind of tried to... I thought, I can reinvent myself. I can have this sort of really sort of aloof and like smoking French cigarillos and stuff in a cigarette holder and like be all black and gothy and stuff, and nobody will know who I really am. It'll be like a Ziggy Stardust persona, and actually that was too much like hard work, so I just ended up being myself. And I think as well, I worked in radio for a great many years, and in radio people can sniff out a fake in no time at all. You have to be genuine. Otherwise, you lose audience. But yeah, what you see, this is me in real life. It's too much like hard work to have a front, have a persona. And I'll tell you now, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm quite drunk. Really quite drunk. This wine is probably about 11%, no, 13%. No wonder I am getting sauced. I'm very posh, so I'm totally and utterly gazeboed. And that's it. When you're really posh, you can turn any word into a word for being drunk. Now, absolutely, totally and utterly tarmacked. Let's have a look. Derek Grant, my screen out of focus, but I'm vaping. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, yes, right. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah, Ben Davis, here's some of the Terrier and Brown LBSC X Gypsy Hill Locomotive number 643. One in, Western... Cleveland and Portishead Railway Line Grid. I did wonder when they were going to start turning up. One at LBSC Stroudley Improved Engine Green, Brighton Gold. One more in Southern Rail Green and GWR 2. I think they've ticked all the boxes there. I did Zoe's closed down. I was in the process of looking. That was it. Yes, I was in the process of looking at that, and then we had the technical issue and closed down Facebook, and in the process, she's closed down my browser. But essentially, yes, Rails have announced a few more liveries, and I actually got the world exclusive side-by-side review of the Hornby versus Rails Terrier. I did that at Alexandra Palace last year when the pre-production models of the Rails Terrier were doing the rounds, and the production Hornby Terrier had just come out. So if you haven't seen that, go and find it, take a good look, and that gives you the relative merits of the two of them. But certainly it's great to see some of these other liveries. The Western Cleveland and Portishead Railway, lined green. I was very interested to see. I did wonder whether that would turn up anytime soon. It was actually the last livery that Hornby put out its old Terrier in. I think it's number 4 in that livery. And they were actually still on sale in shops when the new Terrier came out. Such was the speed and haste with which they rushed that to the shops. Mark Wilson, the cupboard monkey is playing up. I found with mine as it started passing me Star Wars props. I sold it on eBay. Yeah, she was bonking me with a light. Oh wow, well, that sounds quite rude. No, she was just like banging on my head. She was poking me with. Oh, there's nothing I can say here, which doesn't immediately turn into an innuendo in my head. She was hitting me with Star Wars props. Warrington Train Spotter 2778. Kathy is the Simon Cowell for the series. I don't like Simon Cowell, it has to be said. It's the nasty Nick. I'm not sure that this series really needs it. Maybe that's a bit gimmicky if you have judges who try and conform with this like good cop, bad cop persona. I think the only person that's going to come out of that badly would be Kathy, if that's what she's trying to get them to do. We have to wait for subsequent episodes, and I'll tell you a few more stories from behind the scenes. But certainly, it's make or break for your public image doing sometimes some of these things. Barry from Missenden Modelers. He's actually not come out of it too badly, but he became the guy that you love to root for having that great big fall, as it were. It's what do you want in your public persona? What do you want to be remembered for? And I don't think it does her any favours if she's trying to play like bad cop. I would suggest that actually that's not how. Had I got through the auditions and been employed as one of the judges, I couldn't have done bad cop. If they'd have taken that, I'd say, when have you asked to be good cop? When are you asked to be bad cop? I'd say, Steve, you can be the rivet counter because this is just what I am like. I'm just far too nice to everybody. Mark Wilson, what I like about this channel is that it goes off on weird tangents. Yeah, we do, don't we? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Ron Stanbridge, yes, spot on. What were we talking about? Sorry, Ron Stanbridge. Yes, I did identify you correctly. Andy, 1962. Yeah, I think the production wants Steve to seem like the good cop and Kathy the bad cop. Aha. Mark Wilson, if asked, would you judge in the future? Yeah, I wanted to judge from Series 1. I did an audition screen test over Skype and they didn't pick me. And I was really miffed about that. When you've gone after something like that and you've seen what good it's done for Kathy and, she's earned a lot of money out of it and it's certainly raised her profile. Yeah, there's a little bit of you that's always slightly jealous, to be honest with you, and a bit gutted. Wish her well, but should have been me. I just wasn't very good at selling myself. I'm a very modest person. I know perhaps you're thinking, modest, you? When do we get to see that side of you? But no, I think with hindsight, I didn't sell myself hard enough, and Kathy's probably very good at selling herself. That's not a criticism of Kathy, like kudos to her. But I find it very difficult to big myself up. But yeah, I would definitely judge in the future. And if they rang me up and said we need a judge, I'd be like, I'll be there. I would actually. I have already suggested to Pat that if they sold the franchise abroad, I would love to be considered for being a judge. for an American version, an Australian version. You know, have judging skills, will travel. Carol Taylor. Yeah, a lot of people have picked up on this. And Kathy, if you're watching this, there's still time. Have a word with Pat. I'm sure you filmed some stuff which can be cut in that makes you seem a little bit less looking for fault. But if they did tell you to do good cop, bad cop, and you be the bad cop, you shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, but no. Gamehammer Classic Gaming. Was that Persona advice the advice of DJ Polygon? Are you getting drunk down there as well? DJ... Right, okay. DJ Polygon. Everybody else is thinking, what the hell is she talking about? I used to run a radio station about... God, this is like nearly 20 years ago. Purple FM is the student radio station for Durham University. Yes, I did used to run that. In sort of 1998 through to 2000, I was part of the executive. And, yeah, I was. There was myself and 3 other people who were really the brains behind that. We turned a profit. We're the only RSL station in Durham University's history to turn a profit that year that we did it. But DJ Polygon, I still to this day do not know who DJ Polygon really was, because I was in charge of hiring people to do all of the show slots. And I can remember being in the studio manager's house, and we were listening to the feed on the radio, and this guy was on at about like 3 in the morning, and he says, I am DJ Polygon. I would tell you my real name, but I am frightened my fans would mob me. And that was DJ Polygon, and we couldn't stop laughing. And to this day, we weren't sure who the hell he really was. Warrington Train Spotted 2778. I hope I do not get starstruck on Sunday. I don't know why. Is somebody famous turning up? But yeah, New Mills Model Railway, evening to you. Nick West, hi to you from Spain. Ron Stanbridge, Kathy said to me, I am going to be rude about your ballast, but that was edited out. But I found her to be okay as Steve was. Yeah, it's interesting to hear other people's points of views. I didn't have a bad experience with Kathy. I did film some stuff which may or may not make the edit, where, you know, she was very excited about what I was doing. But off camera as well as some on camera, I found her very distant and almost a little bit cold. It may just be, I don't know, you know, sometimes, you know, personalities gel. Me and Steve, we got on really well. He's friended me on Facebook, and for all I know, he's one of the lurkers watching this, going, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, like you're acting like you're gonna be like my chief bridesmaid at my next wedding. No, Steve's not planning on getting married. I think he's happily married with kids. That was just an example, because I couldn't exactly be his best man, his best woman. I don't know. His wife would have words. My wife would have words. You know when you talk yourself into a corner when you're drunk? I've just done that. Brian 37420 long. Evening to you. Just popping my head in to see what's occurring. Oh yeah, what's shaking down in Groovetown? Well, Brian, it will be no surprise to you to know that I am absolutely toasted on red wine. So there's a bottle of red wine here. Brian actually appeared quite a lot on the live stream. You've not been in for a while. I did invite you in. I know it was a bit last minute, but you should have got on the bus and come down here. It would have been grand. The 2 of us would make a great double act. But what were we talking about? Egg and chips, man. Who else thinks that the unmodelled Besborough 460 are the best looking engines in the world? Besborough 460, I'm not even sure what they are, to be honest with you. Ben Davis, I watched GMRC Series 1 and I don't know but I find Kathy Millett was a bit too hard on the team. Only have 3 days to build the layout. Yeah, I must admit. My mantra has always been, those that can do, those that can't criticise. And those that can't criticise, go on the internet and type gay and fake on YouTube video comments. Which is actually very, very harsh. But, yeah, I think she's trying to play bad cop, like do the Simon Cowell. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like Simon Cowell because he just comes across as a bit of an idiot. He's probably a perfectly nice person in real life. But I don't. I think it's a hiding to nothing to be like that on a TV program. Ben Davis took it a bit too serious and talked down to the people. I would like you, Jennifer, to be a host, as you are kind and nice to all people. Love to watch your live stream and feel like one big family. Well, thank you very much. That really touches me right there. I'm trying not to say I just realized that sounded really sarcastic in my ear. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm just absolutely drunk. But yeah, I would love to do stuff like that. Like I said, I did audition to be one of the judges and didn't get it, as you probably guessed. But yeah, I have put a pitch in, and I'm probably only telling you this because I'm drunk, but I have put a pitch in for, there's a role that I envisage within the format for Great Model Railway Challenge, which doesn't currently exist, which I've kind of pitched myself into, and that's all I will say about it. Because whilst I might be absolutely roofing tiled, I know not to talk too much about things that are ifs, buts, and maybes. Yeah, Mark Wilson. What is a 460? Sounds like an AMU. Try a Class 52. Immense. Oh yeah, I do love my Class 52. James Hardy. What's he like from Car SOS? Actually, I got on really well with Tim and James as well. Sorry, what do you want? Spill beans on what?
Yeah, I'm just talking about what you were pitching.
Consider me told off. Ooh. Can you hear a phone ringing?
Yeah, next door.
I don't know, can you guys hear a phone ringing? I can hear a phone ringing. So, right, yeah, Warrington Transporter 2778. This is 13% wine. So it's an interesting thing. Anybody who's interested in watching what the process of somebody getting drunk from stone cold sober to absolutely, totally and utterly reliant Robin, then this is the stream. Oh dear, anybody fancy a kebab? Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Brian, where are we got? Jenny, you're middle of the road person. Yeah, actually, no, I like to see the good in everything, and I think that's something that's very important. Is there's no prizes for being a critic. You got to look for the good in everything that people do, and I think you can make a really good program out of doing that, about encouraging people, rooting for people, and that's kind of the way I'd roll. It may be that GMRC really wanted this good cop approach. Maybe that's part of the format. I don't know. Brian 37420 long. Apologies, I could not be there tonight, Jen. Busy making Northcote Road Station on the layout. Oh, you should have come. It would have been fun. Mr. Muffin's Trains. This will sound strange. It's Monday 7:15 p.m. over in the UK, and it's 7:15 a.m. Tuesday over here. Oh, well, hello from the past, Mr. Muffins. We're in the past. Ooh, you're in the future. How's your DeLorean doing? I'm really drunk. I'm sorry. Warrington Trains. Oh, it just jumped. Jenny is drunk. Warrington Transporter 2778. Yes. Carol Taylor, wondering would it look odd having a Japanese pagoda on a layout? Just a thought. Well, actually, no. If it was a Japanese layout, it would look perfectly fine. Carol Taylor, who's getting tipsies? Yourself. Egg and Chips Man, the EU want to ban steam locomotives. That wouldn't go down well in the former Deutsche Demokratische Republik, i.e. East Germany, because they have a lot of steam locos in museums that they run, the Wallstatten experience, things like that. Canadian Rail fan, Zoe, is Jenny spilling the beans when she's drunk? Doug Crook and Kathy has stated on our YouTube channel that she is uncomfortable in crowds. That actually would explain a lot. And in all honesty, I had to learn how to be good in crowds. I'm naturally a very shy person, and I talked about what you see is what you get, but there is an element of a persona here. The real me, as in the private me, my natural personality is very quiet and reserved, and would just be sat in a corner, almost the wallflower at the school disco. That's me. But I've not been like that for an awfully long time, because I've kind of learnt to deal with crowds, And I think my time as a radio presenter actually taught me how to deal with crowds. I know with a radio show you're just talking to a microphone, but you get used to this idea that you've got a large audience listening to you. And what I found from this was that actually public performance, public speaking kind of grew from that. So maybe actually what she needs to do is a live stream like this. So Kathy, if you're watching this, my recommendation to deal with being uncomfortable around crowds is, a live stream's a lot like doing a radio talk program, which I used to do late night phone in talk shows on various commercial stations, on BBC stations, and it's a really great way of breaking you into this idea of public speaking, of being around crowds without actually being around crowds. Because I'm just sat in a room, none of you are here in this room with me, but you kind of are, but you aren't, if that makes sense. And so I would recommend to Kathy, do a weekly live stream. Hey, come on my live stream, it's not I'm not dissing you. I'm just saying it's the way you've been edited to come across. I think you need to talk to Pat, and it may well be that Pat, who people who are wondering who the hell is Pat, the series producer. He's a great guy. Pat is a really nice guy, and he would probably be amenable to tweaking a few things if you persuade him of why it is good for the series. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. Jenny wouldn't spill any beans. She's very careful of her food. Yeah, I like food too much to waste any by spilling it. Don Cruggan. Kathy has stated on a youth challenge. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Mark Croucher. Don't think Kathy would have had much say in the matter. Yeah, you generally don't how you get edited on TV programs or films for that matter. Sometimes if you get on really well, and this is something, right, my sister has worked for over 20 years in film and television. She's a big name producer down in London. She's done some big name stuff. Time Team's probably the thing that you would everybody knows Time Team. It's that big a deal, and she worked for them for about 10-12 years as a producer. But what she told me when I first went into appearing in front of the camera, her advice to me was get on well with the crew, get on well with the production staff, and get on well with the director and the producer. Don't have hissy fits. Don't fall out with people. Don't do the big I am. Because these are the people who control how you will appear on television. And they are make or break for your public image. So if you get on well with them, they're more likely to give you a really good portrayal. And that's why, I don't know if anybody was at any of the filming. I have this persona like, hi, how you doing? Oh, great to see you. And at the final, coming back, and the crew, it's something that I can't remember who told me it, but it's like a management technique. Remember one thing about everybody that you meet. One little detail that when you meet them again, you can go like things like, how's X, Y, and Z, and it makes them feel like you really care about them, and it's a very good technique for coming across well. I'm giving you my secrets now about, I'm not false in public, but there's also, other things. Well, if you can't remember who somebody is, don't go, who the hell are you? You got to go, hi, how you doing? Oh, it's great to see you. And all the time you're trying to pick up clues who the hell this person is. And it's, I'm no secret about this. I've had a career in radio. I've had a career in publishing, still got a career in publishing, writing as a book author. A lot of people know of me, but I don't necessarily, thousands upon thousands of people come up to me at book signings, at comic conventions, that kind of sci-fi conventions, at radio road shows. Oh, hi, Jenny Kirk. And you've got to be really personable, because that's how... otherwise you come across as being aloof and out of touch and arrogant, and it's important. Canadian Rail fan Jenny, how drunk can you get? Oh, I can get really drunk. This is just a warm up. I am a lightweight. Dick Strawbridge got me totally and utterly bolognaised on Biggest Little Railway, and we're talking I was still drunk the morning after when we started filming again. That's how drunk I got. So Dick Strawbridge, solid quality chap. I know a few people have bad things to say about him, having worked in the industry. That is not my experience of Dick Strawbridge. He's a thoroughly great bloke, and I would happily work with him again. But yeah, you managed to get me totally sourced. Right. Oh. Anywho. Mark Wilson, this is just an idea, so don't take it to heart, but behind you I think it would be good to have a logo for your channel and some pictures like a train room. Yeah, actually we should probably get a poster to put on the wall, but our intention is to do the live streams from Weir Yard up in the loft. So the backdrop would be the Weir Yard sign, pictures that are on the wall, the shells of trains, and the layout itself. It's just simply a case at the moment, the computer that's up there, I don't think it's up to the task of being able to stream this. You know, we've got cameras to plug to it through the USB. I've got microphones, but the fundamental weak spot is the computer. It is an old computer, and once we're confident that we can do the live streams from the loft, that's where we're going to move to. Ron Stanbridge, Pat did say they're thinking of having the runners up next year. We will have to see. People have asked me whether I'd do it again, and I'd really love to do it, but I think I'd prefer a job like Kathy's got. I'd like to do something more official. I think that the format has space for stuff. So, who knows? New Mills Model Railway. Absolutely. Oh, hold on. Oops. It does this thing where it like all the things suddenly flick up, and I lose my place. Mark Wilson, Canadian Rail fan. Can you get too drunk? Yeah, it's when you wake up in a skip covered in your own sick, wearing a traffic cone. That's when you get too drunk. Matterville, didn't Kathy give higher scores than Steve? In the edit, some of her comments may have seemed harsh, but I feel she was taking the difficulty of the challenge into account. I'm not sure, actually. I don't know, actually. Yes. I think you're right, actually. On some things, she did offer a higher score, but I felt that Steve came across better, being his criticism was constructive rather than destructive. I felt that sometimes what Kathy was saying, well, this is wrong, rather than looking for the good points. It was just focusing on the bad points. I don't know. Goulburn South Station, hi to you. Canadian Rail fan, Mark Wilson, I would say I can get too drunk, never meet me in a bar. Oh, I can't afford to get drunk in bars these days. Too expensive. Canadian Rail fan, sorry, I've just read that one out. Mark Wilson, New Mills Railway, absolutely love your channel. Such detail in N-gauge. Yeah, New Mills Model Railway. Yeah, one of the channels, I believe I follow you as well. This is great, actually. YouTube has this great community feel, and I am starved of time because I do about 50 hours a week in my day job over 4 days, but then I do a lot of other stuff as well. I write magazine articles, I write comic scripts, and I do a lot of filming, not just for my channel. I'm doing some filming tomorrow with Hattons. I do work reasonably closely with Hattons at the moment. Looking forward to that. That's going to be great, and that is a video that's going to be broadcast after the episode is broadcast on Friday. So it's going to be weird, actually. I'm going to be recording a video tomorrow, no holds barred, with all the stories about the filming of our episode, because I know that video isn't going out until after the episode is broadcast. But it's a little bit naughty feeling. I'm going to kind of sit there with Jack Morgan and spill the beans, but obviously only he is going to hear that. Well, him and the cameraman and Ricky, who's the media manager. So it's going to be interesting, but that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I don't get a lot of time to catch up with a lot of videos. And, I sort of dip in and out. There's a few channels that I do avidly watch, but they don't tend to actually be railway modelling channels. I follow Hoovie's Garage really avidly. I don't know what it is. I just love car programs. Mark Wilson, is this not the best modelling channel on YouTube? Oh, yes, it is. It makes my Monday extends the weekend. Thank you and Zoe very much. Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you very much. I aim to please. Right, this glass is defective. Can I just say I never watch these back because I think I'd be embarrassed rotten. It's like, oh my God, Jenny, you just got so totally and utterly monitored. Doing that posh thing again. You've been joysticked. Absolutely joysticked here. This is actually the most drunk I've been on the Jenny Monday Club. Zoe, just for future reference, red wine is out of the question. Don't let me drink red wine on the Monday Club. I mean, at some point, there's going to be this shepherd's crook comes through the door and yoinks me off. Oh. Meanwhile, yes, the prologue. Right. Where are we? Let's have a look. Mark Croucher. Guy Martin does not like crowds. He is in the autism spectrum. Still a great TV personality. Yeah, we've talked about this on a previous live stream. I'm on the autism spectrum. I can't say I'm a great fan of crowds, but I've learned to deal with them. And when you're on the autistic spectrum, and it is a spectrum, some people suffer more than others. And I think as well, there's probably a lot of creative people somewhere on there. And, I've never been formally diagnosed. We talked about this before. When I was told this by a few people who have been diagnosed, and they say, oh, so you're autistic as well. And it's like, I don't know, am I? And being kind of working out that you're autistic, there's no real treatment for it. It kind of makes things make more sense. And for me, that was the most important thing about it. Going, oh, so I'm not weird. It's just autism. But yeah, I've kind of spent a lot of my life learning how to function in society. I'm not like totally way out there autistic, but what do they call it? Higher functioning autistic. But it doesn't stop you from being a great personality because you can kind of learn the ropes. I had great tutoring from some of the greats of BBC radio and television who tutored me on how to, all the tricks of the trade and how to engage with your audience, that kind of thing. So, it can be done. Derek Grant, Brian 37420, you could have joined the stream and then got on making the station. Yeah, damn straight. You tell him. New Mills Model Railway, Mark Wilson, I think you might be thinking of another New Mills I Model 00. Yeah, actually, that's a good point, actually, yeah. I think it still is you that I follow. Brian, it's just jumped again. Brian 37420. Hey Derek, I almost did, but I was battling with wood glue and it went on for a bit. I'll make the effort again soon, I promise. Yeah, come on, Brian. Come on down. The price is right. I've got to get drunk and blag cigarettes off somebody. I don't normally smoke, incidentally. Also, Zach, if you're watching this, Zach is my little nephew. Auntie Jenny does not smoke. It's really bad. It's like only Wallies smoke. Only people made of poo smoke. Zoe, come up and take this bottle of wine away from me. I really don't need any more. A classic gaming. Waking up in a skip. I thought we agreed not to discuss honeymoon. Made the wine go down the wrong way. Carol Taylor sounds like uni days. I remember university. God, yeah. People come and knock on your door and go, we're going to Edinburgh for the weekend. Do you want to come? It's like, yeah, okay. Lock the door and wander off with them. Take that wine away. Oh, the cupboard monkey has arrived.
Would you like a strong coffee, my dear?
It might be a good idea. I'm sorry, I'm getting the giggles. I really fancy a doner kebab.
You're going to be alright.
Put some chips or something in. I need something to soak up the alcohol. I can't believe it.
Do you want a pot noodle?
No, I
You can't be that drunk then.
Yeah. Is there any way of decanting that back into the bottle?
Need a hand? Are you okay?
I've don't think I've been this drunk in a long time. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Oh, sorry, they're back. We're back. Canadian Rail fan, I never thought you'd be shy. As for drinking, I think 6 beers, then you have me as happy, Larry. Do not tell my wife as well. I'm about 1 more to go before gone total drunk. Oh, I'm glad everybody else is joining in. Mark Wilson, I like Kathy's channel. She's a really good modeler. Yeah, she absolutely is. She's an astoundingly good modeler, and her channel is great. If you haven't already subscribed to Kathy Millett Modeling, do so. Tell her I sent you, because I think she may actually subscribe to my channel. I think she might do. Doesn't necessarily mean that she watches my videos, but certainly there's been a few occasions where she's put up videos which are remarkably similar to ones I had put up in the previous week. But yeah, she's a really good model, and that's the thing. She has a lot of credibility as a judge, and you know, I think that's really important. Both her and Steve Flint, they have the track record as modelers, so they can speak with authority, and I think that is very important for the judging role. You know, it's something I have as well. You know, you've all seen the fruits of my modelling, but the judge has to have a track record. It's why on The Voice, Tom Jones works really well, because you know, when he says, like, you know, this is wrong or that's wrong, you know he is speaking with ultimate authority, and Kathy has that because her modelling is superb. Canadian Rail fan, would like to hear about my honeymoon in Australia. I'd love to go to Australia, I must admit, so I am a bit jealous. Mark Wilson, Jenny, Volvos or modelling? If you could choose one, what would it be? It would have to be modelling, actually. I love modelling. I nearly said I love modelling clothes. I actually did work as a model probably about 12, 13 years ago. Zoe will attest to this. I did for about 6 months do some modelling work. Professionally, I got paid for it. What I learnt is the least glamorous thing ever is glamour modelling. And I will never forget, one of the last shoots that I did was filmed something like the 4th of January at Flint Castle. And it was a lingerie shoot. And it was like all this sort of like posing out in the wilds of this castle, this derelict castle. And between takes, we had to put these big, like, huge fur coats on because we were absolutely frozen, myself and the other models. It was just unbelievably cold, and it started sleeting. And you, like, just basically stood there in your underwear. And it is not glamorous in the slightest, because the photographer and all the grips and the lighting people, they're all, like, fully, like, jumpers, coats and gloves and stuff. And you're there wearing, like, not a lot. And I thought after that, what am I doing? So I was a lot younger than, well, obviously like 12, 13 years younger. Before I got married, so it meant that I hadn't let myself go then. Ham Shackleton, I don't believe that Jenny has any broken bones, but she's certainly getting plastered. I have broken bones in the past, actually, but I don't do it by halves. I've broken ribs, and I've broken my L3 vertebrae in my back. So when I break bones, I go for like some real hardcore bones. Brian, 37,420 long. I've been poorly for a while. Yeah, I know you've been very ill. We have worried about you, and I have put in a word for you on the channel. People have been asking after you, so it's good to see you getting a bit better. Yes, Jenny does smoke, just only when it's my fags. I nearly read that out loud. PMSL, we all know what that means. Yeah, I gave up buying cigarettes, just haven't quite given up smoking them. Canadian Rail fan, you may have witnessed me secretly smoking on the film shoot for GMRC. And it's quite funny, actually. The same thing happened with Biggest Little Railway. Whenever the cameras are out, I'm like, no, you can't film me smoke. It's like my hard red line. The Boris Johnson hard red line. Well, I have a hard red line. The Jennifer Kirk hard red line is that I must never be filmed whilst smoking. Ben Davis, thanks for looking at comments, Jennifer, and have a great week. Or you too. You take care. How are you doing? You right? You suddenly sound like you might be slightly angry with the fact that I'm drunk.
No, I'm fine.
But
The heavy breathing, deep breathing there was due to the fact that I am totally out of shape at the moment.
what have you put in the oven for me to soak up the booze with?
Aye.
I know we've definitely got onion rings.
What's onion rings, do you?
Is there not chips?
I ate all the chips. It's one of the reasons why I'm so fat. So what are we looking at here?
Me very drunk.
It's the world rocking back and forward at the moment.
Stop it! I'll just just remember, Zoe. I'm sat in your office in front of all your games and your computers. If you rock me too much,
no!
it's oh no! It's the voice of Bunny the Rabbit. If you look up, what is that film called?
How to Make a Film. It's on Gamehammer Classic Gaming's channel.
On Gamehammer Classic Gaming's channel, there's a film called How to Make a Film, which we did for a film festival. And I do all the voices for all of the cuddly toys. So when you hear Bunny the Rabbit, that's me. Also, I do Miss Huggles. Hey there, sugar. And what was the other one I did? Oh, I did Mr. MP Monster. I can't remember how I did his voice. Oh,
Yeah.
Chocolate Cake, Canadian Railfan. Oh, good call. Oh, Gamehammer Classic Gaming. You wore my coat between shots. I remember wondering where my coat was, and you'd taken it with you. Yeah, they're actually, one of the photographers did take a photo, and I do have it somewhere, of me in this very long, thick coat. It's sort of right down nearly to my ankles, and there's this kind of sort of in the moment glamour shot that's not a glamour shot. It's just me with. I think I was just sort of stood there, and this. The photographer's assistant was talking to me. Yeah, and what we were talking about GMRC. Why am I talking about my career as a model? Derek Grant, stop the world. Jenny wants off. No, we're not quite that bad. We've got. But sir, just I couldn't possibly eat another bowl of raw coffee. Oh, that's good coffee. Canadian Rail fan, I think I did see you. Don't like myself, but stressed you can. Yeah, I think everybody got stressed on the film shoot. I think Ron, if you're still in the chat, I think you'll probably attest to that. It is quite stressful when you're trying to build a model railway, and you know, it's filmed over 3 days, but really, like, if you've not broken the back of it within 2 days, you're not gonna get much done. That final day is literally a fettling time. A couple of hours fettling time on the third day, and then most of that third day is spent doing the filming of the actual reveal, the demonstration, and also when you watch the series, all the shots where the train is going round and you've got the camera travelling on the train. All those are filmed like throughout that third day. I've got loads of photographs of behind the scenes, but I'm obviously waiting until after the entire series has been broadcast before I put them out. I will clarify with the film company just how keen they are on basically the film crew appearing in photos on the internet and stuff. Because I know Biggest Little Railway, the film crew hated accidentally appearing in shot. It was almost like they were allergic to accidentally appearing in shot. But I don't know how it is for the GMRC crew. See, when we filmed Biggest Little Railway, the sound guy, we called him Jeff the Ninja, because he would sort of creep around and you suddenly be aware of this guy changing your radio mic battery, and you're like, where the hell did you come from? And then there was Cara was our PD, the producer director who held the camera. And I don't want to disturb you. Keep going. Yeah, pretend that she's like a phantom in the night.
I'm Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. Mr. Muffin Trains, very good stream, Jenny. I have to get ready for school. See you on your next live stream. Oh, it's been great to have you along. I hope...
Getting ready for school. You're making us feel old now.
Yeah, look, and also, I don't want to be a bad influence. I do try... I hope I've managed to not swear, because swearing is not big and it's not clever. And all that stuff about smoking, it's true. It's really bad for you. I'm 40 years old, so I started when people thought it was cool, and actually it's really not cool. But yeah, getting drunk, you see what a wally I'm making myself? You really don't want to make a wally of yourself. So drink in moderation, kids. Being drunk, it's not big and it's not clever. Gordon Adam, please, pics of you as a model. No. It was an underwear shoot. And no. I'm not going to share those pictures. You know, there's pictures of a lot of famous people out there in their early part of their career doing things that they're not necessarily proud of. Yes, I did have a really good figure. It wasn't like I didn't look like all like podgy back then. I was stick thin. So they are actually, yeah, I look at the pictures. I do still have copies of them on the hard drive of one of the computers in the house. I just think, God, what happened? I really let myself go. Berry 120, somewhat back on topic. Boom! Yes, great, back on topic. I was generally impressed with the friendly nature between teams. One thing I didn't like about Series 1 was that a team, Missenden maybe, seeming very arrogant. Yeah, Missenden did. I think they were baited a bit. I have talked with Barry from Missenden Modelers, and he does say they set him up a little bit, but you know, you can't be set up if you don't fall for it. And I know that our mantra in Team Rail Riders was definitely a case that, and you know, Team Rail Riders, let's just bring that picture back up. There we are, resplendent in our really good quality Rail Riders matching tops. We were a great team. We worked really well together. You see 4 of the 6 of us there working hard on the model on the back of the Great Model Railway Challenge tie-in publication that is out there, available from places like WH Smith's. Get yourself a copy. It gives you the lowdown on all the teams. But our mantra was big up the other teams. You know, talk yourself down. Don't big yourself up. And I think a lot of the other teams learned to like. It was one of the unspoken things throughout the series. When you talk with other teams, everybody's saying, "Oh, we're not going to do a Missenden," and it almost became a kind of a mantra for a lot of the teams. Certainly in the heat we were in, everybody said, "Well, we're not going to do a Missenden," and I think that's probably a good thing to come out of Series 1, that people went, "Oh, I'm not going to fall into that trap," because I don't like it when people criticise other people's work. I don't like it when people are arrogant, and I guess that the audience at home are of the same vein. Canadian Rail Fan, and in background of Season 2, Episode 1, I saw one of the Forley Flyers. Well, you have to remember, we were at Forley Hill, so they were going to be around. I met them as well during the filming of our heat. So if they were around, there's nothing stopping them being in the audience. That's presumably how they got there. Carol Taylor, nice photo, Jenny. What? Have you found the modelling photos? In my defence, they were high. It was high quality. It was for Gossard, so it was high quality. Oh, this is sobering me up. Brian, 37420 long. Yeah, it was great having some banter between teams. We were always popping off to check on others' progress and see how everyone was doing. Some fantastic people took part, and we enjoyed it. Yeah, I'd second that. And the teams did help each other out. Certainly, materials did flow between teams. If people found themselves short of something, then the other teams were sure to try and help them out. Certainly, borrowing tools as well. That did happen. And I think in a couple of instances in the craft room, different teams did help each other out. It was kind of a great camaraderie. And that's something else that I would take away from the Great Model Railway Challenge, is that I met some great people, and they really were great people, both on and off the screen. And, you know, we'd meet up at breakfast at the hotel and get on really well. there was no kind of rivalry between the teams that I saw, and I think that that was great. Carol Taylor, no, railway model. Oh, right, sorry. I was worried for a moment that somebody had managed to track down those pictures. Was it? Oh, Warrington Train Spotter 2778. God help Zoe tonight with your wine snoring. I do not snore. Zoe snores, but she has yet to furnish me with any evidence whatsoever that I snore. I'm up to date on the comments here, so if you want to ask me anything, do feel free to ask me. I'm quite drunk, so you probably get an answer of some description. Berry 120, tangentially. Oh God, don't bamboozle me with big words when I'm drunk. Tangentially related to GMRC, but I wonder if any of the more out there sound effects, SFX style ideas on the layouts will find themselves making their way onto more mainstream layouts. Now, in terms of basically in terms of the animation, shall we say, the ones that I've seen, there were a few that actually I would take away from the filming of our Heat 2. It's not been broadcast, so I can't tell you about these. Actually, no, I kind of can. I'll give you a clue. In the trailer that has been shown on Channel 5, so it is out there, public domain, there is one of the animations on one of the other layouts in Heat 2. And that is something, I actually had a big conversation with Steve Flint about it. And I wouldn't say I was like full-on fangirl gushing. But I said to Steve, I said, I was really impressed by this particular animation. As I said, it's such a great concept. And it addresses one of the fundamental unrealisms about model railways. And I said, if there's one thing that I take away from this heat, is actually what this other team had done. And I said, I think it's a great idea. And I really do think, I can't tell you what it is. I really shouldn't, because the episode hasn't been broadcast. Daniela will have my guts for garters if I spill any beans. If you want to know what it is I'm sort of alluding to, then watch on Friday. Yeah, Game Hammer Classic Gaming, don't give out details, even if a clip has been shown, Jenny. Yeah, because it may not have actually made clear exactly what was going on. Too right, but certainly what I can say is that I took away from our Heat one particular animation that another team did, and I just thought it was a great idea. And I want to talk about it, and I will talk about it after the episode has broadcast, and that will be in keeping with the NDA. But there's some great ideas that people came up with. Not necessarily like way out there, but things that people can regularly use on their model railways. I just think there's, the creativity, when people kind of really pushed the boat out and weren't trying to be conservative about what they were doing. And I think that's the great thing about Great Model Railway Challenge, is it pushed the boundaries about what people can do with modelling. And in some respects, I talked with Pat about this, and he kind of said, yeah, that's kind of getting exactly what we're trying to go for. Great Model Railway Challenge works on the basis that if you push the boundaries and you show like that this is like really imaginative, really out there, but we can do this. The idea is that it inspires people to do perhaps the more regular things. People see you doing things, like the Singhole, Fanco Model Marvels, the something like that, or the Kathy and Steve were a bit disparaging on the landslide on the Corby Steelman's layout, but actually I saw that in the flesh. They showed me that, and I thought it was a really good idea. And the lava lamp volcano as well. These things were things that pushed the limits of creativity, but gave you ideas of perhaps something slightly more conventional that you could do in you could do in your more normal model railways. What's that? Canadian Rail fan. Jenny, the crew might have played with layouts when you left. What do you mean? Oh, no, it's because we went on to, was it about sort of like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night? I got the impression that the place was locked up when we left. So I think you're BSing us there a little bit. Although they were racked and stacked afterwards. So I don't know how you would have played with them on that racking. Don't tell him, Pike. Don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it. Zoe, are you drunk as well? Because you're supposed to be teetotal. Barry 120. I thought one of the earthquakes looked fantastic. The other one a bit comical, unfortunately. See, I thought that the one that the Corby Steelman's earthquake was actually a really good way of doing it. I can't see a practical use for that other than modelling an earthquake on your layout, which is a little bit different. But it's showing what you could do if you really push the boundaries. I feel inspires people to do the more regular stuff. They think, well, look, if you can do that, then I can do this. I really do think that GMRC 2, more so than GMRC 1, will inspire people. I'm really interested to know what the ratings are like. I don't know whether Knickerbocker Glory / Channel 5 have got actual firm ratings yet for episode 1, but I'd be interested to see how it performed. I think that this series has certainly raised the bar over previous series. What I've seen shows that people really kind of got the idea. And I think I said this last week. It's a bit like any series. The first series is always finding its feet. And in series 1, there were a lot of teams who just made a conventional model railway, which is a little bit boring. But there were some people who really pushed the boundaries. But I think that in series 2, people had obviously seen series 1 and they knew what the crack was. And I think series 2 is where it's all hooking up. And you saw that in other things like Robot Wars. Series 1, people were finding their feet, but series 2, people knew what was expected, knew what they could do, knew what they were aiming for. And I think that actually in series 2, all of the teams, without exception, have really raised the bar. And even, the teams that can last in each of the heats, the quality of their models, the innovativeness of the models, I think that they are actually even better than the winning layout from Series 1 because people really pushed the boat out. Valleybrook 2 Model Railway. Hi Jenny, I'd love you to be a guest on my Friday show within MRYCG after your episode ends. Yeah, I need to actually get back to Ken Patterson about what's neat this week to be a guest on that. But certainly, if we can work out a means of doing it, then we can do that. Just bear in mind that I work Wednesday to Saturday. I work in my day job that I need to pay the mortgage, and I travel the country. I stay away from home from time to time, but I'm not actually in a position to do anything on Wednesday to Saturday. But other days of the week, yeah, we can sort something out. So do get in touch if you message the channel, either through Facebook. You can message me. Some people do. I've been talking with people through the messaging system. But yeah, basically, yeah, get in touch. We'll sort something out. Warrington Train Spotter 2778. I thought the scientist team did really well considering they were new to the modelling hobby. Yeah, and that's exactly what I said back at the beginning of this stream. I think that they did amazingly well, and they're the kind of team that this series needs. And they're the kind of people that modelling need. The people who come into the modelling and find that actually this is for them. And the creativity as well. And I think, it's one of the ways that I've always approached modelling myself, and maybe I'm a rarity rather than the norm. But unconventional ways of solving things. And Les Cliff as well does the same thing. He's very unconventional, but it works. And when people come into the hobby from other walks of life, they don't come with the baggage and the preconceptions, and they can quite often come up with totally new ways of doing things that are actually more effective than the perceived wisdom would have you do things. Berry 120. Oh, sorry, Mark Wilson. Good night, sleep tight. It's been really great. Really great to have you all along. I know I've got really drunk and I'm probably like lolling about and totally gazeboed. But this is me. This is what you get. and it's great to shoot the breeze with you all. We have the more serious videos Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays. And just remember, the Friday video will go up, but the Friday is when our heat is broadcast. So there's a lot of embargoed information and video footage, which is embargoed until after our heat is shown. So just think, look out for the Saturday video, and maybe, just maybe, to be ahead of the curve, there will be a Friday video that comes out minutes after the episode is aired. Anywho, right. Canadian rail fan to put away the cameras in a few. Oh, sorry. They lock up about an hour later after you. Oh, so you did play trains. That's fine. To be honest with you, so you were playing with my sound fitted locomotives. Well, to be honest with you, good luck to you. It's great fun, isn't it? I'm glad we actually inspired you to do Series 3. But yeah, UK train spotting. It's good to see new novices joining the hobby. And it is what the hobby needs. We need this new blood. We need young blood. It is very important. And I think Great Model Railway Challenge, more so than anything else, is getting these new people into the hobby. I think that it has been a breath of fresh air to the hobby. Berry120, hey, stop mentioning Robot Wars. I'm still gutted it was cancelled twice. Yeah, I'd have loved to have built a robot for that. I did get as far as planning one with a friend, but we never did quite do it, and then they cancelled it. Warrington Train Spotted 2778. It proves the hobby is not just old people hiding in their lofts. Yeah, there's some middle-aged people as well hiding in their lofts. Yeah, Rex Garrett. Actually, Rex Garrett did a lot of the props and stuff for a lot of TV series. Doctor Who, actually, funnily enough, as well. That man is a legend in radio-controlled stuff. Ben Davis, Calcutta. Thanks, Carl. I can't wait to see GWR 6000 Class 6023 King Edward in BR Blue. Yeah, BR Blue is one of the liveries. I don't have any examples in my collection, but would really very much like to have some. Brian 37420 long. Jen, I learned a bit from Les. I'm building my scenery in sections and fitting them afterwards now. Yeah, Les is an inspiration, it has to be said. And his enthusiasm is infectious. And the way he just throws stuff together. But I think what he showed to me, and I'm certainly a lot better modeler because of watching how Les works. And in some respects, some of his techniques are very similar to my own. But in others, watching him work, the confidence to work various different materials in unconventional ways, essentially, Les is a great inspiration. And the thing about Les is he doesn't blow his own trumpet on his modelling skills. And really, he deserves a modelling program all to himself. Like it shows you how. He should start a YouTube channel. Certainly, I would be more than happy to film him working on stuff for my channel to really give more exposure to the great work that he does. But he is an amazing artist. He is the unsung hero. And when I formed Team Rail Riders originally, when I was asked to form it by Daniela, Les was really high on my list of people. I thought I need him on my team because he is so good. And I wasn't disappointed. And I think unleashing his talents on the world at large through GMRC 2 hopefully will inspire a lot of people. Anyway, I'm looking at the time. It's 2.25 hours. It just rushes past when you're drunk. But Canadian Rail fan, I did play with sound locos on your layout. It's all right, go right ahead. You can tell you what. You've worked with me on TV, so yeah, come on round. I'll let you loose in Weir Yard. Suki did. Suki's played with my trains up in Weir Yard. In fact, on the Channel 5 trailer, there is a shot of Weir Yard in there. So those of you that know Weir Yard well will realise that, hey, hold on, that's Weir Yard. So it's the only non-GMRC layout to actually make the cut of that trailer. I dare say they filmed other people's layouts, but they used mine in the trailer. So, Canadian Rail fan, Suki got to play with my layout, so yeah, you can be jealous of Suki. Right. Brian 37420 long. Les is funny when he gets stressed. He has a meltdown, but the guy is a legend with the stuff he builds. Proper artist. Yeah, we kept on having to give him a chill pill. Not literally, but you know, the thing about Les is he can panic a bit, but he's a great bloke actually. And Les and I have become really good mates out of this. You know, we met each other through Biggest Little Railway, got on really well, but I think GMRC has really brought together as very close friends, and I really appreciate having him as a friend. He's a great bloke. Canadian Rail Fan, I will bring some of my Canadian locos. Canadian Rail Fan, did you see my Bachmann GP40 American outline loco? That's all I will say. Anywho, yeah, Wellmead 3. Hi Jenny, would love to see the Great Railway Challenge. Can't get her in Ireland. Look for the app My5. That's Channel 5's new catch-up service. Now you need to spoof your IP somehow. There's ways of doing it. I'm not computer minded, but there is a way of doing it. And then you can watch it on the catch-up service. And it actually works for all the others as well, but you didn't hear that from me. Right, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I need to go and sober up, I think. But it's been great having you all along, and hopefully I've elucidated. That's a big word, that actually, elucidated. Write that down. We should use that more often in everyday conversation. Elucidate. I hope this has been elucidating. NordVPN, Gamehound Classic Gaming. There we are. NordVPN. Google it. Google is your friend. Job done. And then look for My5. You didn't hear that from me. But until next time, you take really good care of yourself. It's been great having all of you's company. And look out for our episode on Friday. And I'll talk to you some more the Monday after. I've got Melanie Lewis as a special guest next Monday. And we shall then be free to talk an awful lot more about our episode. We've got loads of behind the scenes photos. So in the meantime, look out for our Wednesday video. We've got, what have we got? Somebody asked me about what diesel locomotives I have in my collection. So this week I have coming up a full locomotive by locomotive account of all of my diesel locomotives. It's quite a long video, as you might expect. But look out for that, and if it goes down well, be warned, my steam locomotive collection will be shown on video. And actually my steam locomotive collection is so big that I may have to split that into two parts. Also electric locomotives, DMUs, stroke EMUs, it's all there. But the starter for 6 is going to be the diesel locomotive collection. I go in depth about every single diesel locomotive that I own. And I own a lot. And also, I'm also planning, I've not filmed it yet, a What's the Difference? The one with the Hornby Old versus New Terrier went down so well that I'm going to do a What's the Difference Old versus New Hornby Princess Coronation class. So look out for that. And also some of the unseen footage will be airing shortly after GMRC airs on Friday. So look out for that too. But until then, look, really take good care of yourself. Don't forget to like this video, that is very important, and share it too, and subscribe to the channel, and get all your friends to subscribe and share as well. We need to make the 10,000 subs by the end of the year. I really actually want to get to 100,000 subs, so let's make that our mission. Get everybody you know to like this channel and subscribe to it too. And yes, also, Warrington Train Spotter 2778, don't forget, next Sunday, the 22nd, at midday, 12 midday exactly, be there or be slightly triangular shape. It's going to be the Jenny Monday Club Big Sunday meetup. This is the first ever Jenny Monday Club meetup. We're going to be meeting at Bury Bolton Street Station on the East Lancs Railway. So get yourself down there. It'd be great to put faces to names, and the more the merrier. And it'll be great to see you all. Ham Shackleton, do you really want the world to see the drunken Jenny? Well, they already have. But until next time, yeah, Derek Grant, smash the like button as well. You tell him, you the man, you the man. And yeah, get everybody you know to subscribe to this channel, because it's a great channel, and I'm really drunk. I'm going to go before I start talking rubbish. I already have been. But look, it's been great to have your company. You take care. Bye for now.